Hello students, I am Dr. Vinod Kumar Advani from Department of Commerce, the Bhopal School of Social Sciences. Dear student, today we are discussing the annual report under corporate financial reporting. In this particular session, we will discuss the concept and the mandatory disclosures under annual report. Concept means first we will understand what is annual report, what is the use of annual report, who will responsible to prepare this particular report and who will use this particular report. After that we will look at the mandatory disclosures under this particular annual report. Mandatory means disclosures, material, notes that is given compulsory in this particular report. In this particular segment, we will look at the letter from the chairperson, the performance highlights, financial statements, outlook for future years, director's report, auditor's report, segment report, and the last corporate governance report. All these mandatory disclosures we will discuss one by one, but let's start with the concept of annual report. What is annual report? Yes, annual report is very important document for the investors and also for the company. This is the report published by a company at the end of a financial year. This particular report gives the detail of company's activities throughout previous financial year. It means from every year 1st April to 31st March, that is the financial year in Indian rules, in Indian Income Tax Act, particular year's data, especially the financial performance of the company highlighted in this particular report. Who will use this particular report? Bankers, shareholders, creditors, government, customers and employees are the major users of this particular annual report. This report contains huge amount of data related with non-financial and financial activities of the company related with a particular year. This report also cover certain future outlook or future prospect of the company and management discussion also. So, this is a very important report under corporate financial reporting. Now, we are starting mandatory or compulsory disclosures. Particular disclosures or material that is compulsory or mandatory to be disclosed in annual report known as mandatory or compulsory disclosures. These materials, these items, these notes compulsory to be attached, to be included in this report due to any particular law, any particular rule, any particular guideline imposed on the companies or corporate entities. These guidelines prepared by government authorities or some autonomous institute. For example, under the annual report of a company, as per Companies Act, we have to prepare financial statements. Under the accounting standard, we have to give some notes. So, all the companies in India have to follow mandatory or compulsory disclosures. These disclosures provide significant data, significant amount of data for the readers to know the overview of the company. Let's start the compulsory disclosures, and under the compulsory disclosures, I am starting with the first point. It is a letter from chairperson or CEO. The chairperson or CEO writes a letter, a message to the shareholders at very first part of this particular report. This particular part is the starting of each and every annual report published by the company. Now, what is to be included in this particular letter or message from the CEO? It is the summary of the company's performance of the previous year. For example, if we are talking about Reliance Industries Limited, Mukesh Ambani every year giving the information, financial performance of Reliance Industries Limited under the letter from CEO or chairperson. In this particular segment, The CEO also used to highlight the company's achievement, performance and the future outlook, and this is very useful for all the shareholders to understand the company's working and performance and future outlook. The second part of mandatory disclosure, we have performance highlights. Yes, performance highlight means the highlight of the performance of the company on the financial sector or financial matters. For example, company can highlight the net profit growth, company can highlight the market capitalization growth, company can highlight the gross revenue growth, company can highlight the growth in earning per share. So company used to give the main data, highlighting the data that is showing growth of the company in this particular section. This is also used to show special initiatives, goal reached and awards received by company. So these are financial highlights under the annual report, second number mandatory disclosure. Third, we have financial statement. Yes, financial statements are vital part, indivisible part of annual report. It includes balance sheet of the company, it includes statement of P&L, and the last one, cash flow statement. With the help of profit and loss, shareholders and the users will know the profit or loss of the company. Through the balance sheet, they will know the assets and the liability, and through cash flow, they will know the cash flow of the company during the previous financial year. This particular report provides quantitative data related with a particular financial year, and this is the most important part of every annual report published in India. Fourth, we have outlook for future years. Yes, in the financial data, or you can say the financial performance data, means balance sheet, profit and loss account and cash flow, we never know the future outlook of the company. The future outlook of the company is based on certain discussions, the business environment. So this particular report also gives you the detail of future outlook, future prospects or future growth opportunity or strategy of the company for the coming years. This report includes the information regarding company's future goals and objectives. Shareholders and investors will get all the information regarding the company's business outlook. Next segment, we have the director's report. Yes, it is mandatory to include director's report under annual report. Now, what is director report? It is a financial disclosure made by all the directors of the company to the shareholder. It is basically financial summary of last financial year. The directors of the company prepare this particular report and submit to the shareholder to maintain transparency also. This is also very important part of balance sheet and the financial statement of the company. Sixth, we have auditor's report. But before starting auditor's report, what is audit? At the end of the financial year, it is mandatory for all the companies to get audit of their account. Audit means the verification of the accounts, whether they are showing true and fair picture of the company's performance or not. A particular external person involved in this particular activity, that is known independent external auditor. It is generally a CA, chartered accountant, practicing chartered accountant. This particular external auditor verify all the accounts of the company and give its report on the all checking, routine checking, all the verifications. This particular report given by the auditor known as auditor's report. It is attached, it is included in the annual report just after the end of financial statement. Without auditor's report, without auditor's verification, the financial statements of the company cannot published to the public or given to the public or disclosed to the public. So auditor's report is mandatory to verify that all the accounts are prepared properly and showing true and fair picture of company's financials. Segment report. Yes, it's again very important report. It is segment business report, or you can say segment reporting. Now, what is segment? Segment means a particular division, part or manageable unit of a business that generate its own revenue and creates its own product. For example, we are taking the example of ITC. ITC is working, or the business of ITC involves the hotel industry, the FMCG industry, the stationery industry, corrugated box industry. So, all these different divisions of ITC known as a segment. To create the transparency, to create the knowledge of each and every segment, it is mandatory to disclose the revenue, the expense, the cost of every segment separately in annual report. This is known as segment reporting. For example, if we are talking about ITC, so in the annual report of ITC, ITC has to disclose income of cigarette business, income of FMCG business, income of stationery business separately with different heads and points and subpoints. It is known as segment reporting. This particular segment reporting is to increase the transparency for creditors and investors of the company. Company can divide the segment like this: petrochemical, refining, oil and gas, retail, digital services, financial services and others. All these are known as segment, and information regarding these segments known as segment reporting. Last, we have corporate governance report. We know that all the companies run by board of directors. These board of directors selected by the shareholders. Now, shareholders have a faith, have a confidence on board of directors. So, board of directors' responsibility arise from this particular agreement, this particular appointment. Each and every shareholder of the company cannot participate in the business management. So, business run by board of directors, a group of directors. Now, the directors should keep accountability, fairness, transparency and independence in their operations, in their workings. So, corporate governance means fair or smooth running of business without violating any law, any rule, any provision. This is known as corporate governance, means fair business ethics. It includes the corporate strategy, it includes the environment awareness, it includes the ethical behavior, it includes the compensation and risk management, and all these are four major parts of principles of corporate governance. I repeat, these are accountability, fairness, transparency and independence. These four major principles of corporate governance. Now, what is corporate governance reporting? In this particular report, they highlight the company's corporate governance practices, policies and programs to provide information to the shareholders and other users. This report prepared by the board of directors under the chairmanship of chairperson or CEO. CEO will direct them to prepare this particular report and covering all the efforts, practices, policies that company is taking care for corporate governance in the business. This is also a mandatory disclosure under the annual report. Dear student, in this particular section, we covered two major topics of annual report. First, we learn about the concept, and second, we covered the mandatory disclosures of annual report. In the part 2 of this particular session, we will cover the additional or voluntary information under the annual report. I hope now you have the knowledge of mandatory disclosures of an annual report and the concept of annual report. This will be useful for your study of corporate financial reporting because annual report is the major part of corporate financial reporting. Thank you.